Hello and welcome back to my channel and back to the 30-day Better You Challenge. My name is Jonathan and today is day 14 and today's challenge is embrace solitude and silence. Now you're probably in one of two camps on this one. Either you love the idea of it, but maybe you're just too busy with life and a career or maybe raising a family, so it just sounds like a pipe dream or a fantasy to have quality alone time. Or you're in the other camp and silence and solitude sounds miserable to you. It sounds lonely and boring and you're like, no thanks. But either way, I hope by the end of this video, you will not only fully embrace the idea of solitude and silence, you will incorporate it into your daily life. Let's get into it. First off, to have the discipline to step away from the daily distractions and detach yourself from the material world is something very few people take the time to do. We're building inner strength here, and to be honest, most people are too busy and too distracted to do this kind of work. Therefore, they end up missing out on a wonderful opportunity to evolve as human beings. There's so much value in taking the time to examine your own beliefs, your values, your judgments, and your perceptions. To ask yourself questions like, what is my purpose? What kind of person do I want to be? What do I want out of life? What are my goals? These are the questions that build character. You're also building self-discipline because let's be honest, sitting with ourselves isn't always easy. We're having to face our own shadow self or fight our own demons, and you're owning up to your mistakes and working on your flaws, and that takes a lot of work and discipline. And I highly recommend that you take a loving and a patient approach with yourself here in doing this kind of work. But if you do it, it will also make you a lot stronger. You'll naturally stop seeking validation from the outside world because you'll know where your strength comes from. You'll have better discernment skills and you'll connect more strongly to your own intuition. You'll learn how to consult yourself first and no longer act on impulses, rash decisions, or react out of emotion. Instead, you'll ground yourself in your own true being and find the inner calmness that then grows outward into your life. You become that calm, cool, and collected individual that other people admire. This means you're better able to handle stress and navigate life, even through all the chaos. And another thing to keep in mind here is the most important human relationship you'll ever have is the relationship with yourself. Ultimately, you must depend on yourself first and foremost. This is self-reliance. The more we depend on others for validation and happiness, the more at risk we are for getting hurt and becoming disappointed. Because like it or not, people come and go throughout our lives. That's not to say you can't ever trust people, but learn to trust yourself first. And this will actually lead you to having a better relationship with other people. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, as the saying goes. And so time spent alone means time spent apart from others. This gives us the space for those relationships to develop more fully and allows us to miss each other and appreciate what we have a little more so we stop taking it all for granted. It also makes you become more intentional. A shift in perspective occurs which allows you to see how little time you actually have, and you begin to prioritize how you spend your time and with whom. You become more selective, and this actually helps you refine yourself. Now, there are many ways in which you can seek solitude and silence. I think in episode 5, I talked about journaling. That's one avenue I take on the daily. But you can also just sit quietly and do some thinking. That's more than enough, and that counts for plenty. And of course, there's meditation. You can go for a walk. And there are actually a lot of activities such as hiking and fishing or hunting, surfing, creating art, creating music, or basically any activity that you enjoy that allows you to step away from ordinary life and have some time to yourself and allows you to do some thinking. If you need a task or an assignment to get you started, I recommend just breaking out a sheet of paper and a pen and making a list of some of your struggles and your triumphs and free write about them. What are some of your accomplishments? What are some of your failures, and what did you learn from them? What's your story? Put it on paper. Give yourself this space to express yourself and see what comes up and build from there. Nobody has to read it except for you, right? So, and what this simple technique does is actually help us reverse the flow of energy. So instead of always just flowing out into the world, depleting ourselves, we're taking some energy and we're turning it inward and recycling it. And we're able to build on that from there. And that's really the secret value of self-reflection. So I hope this video helped give you an idea of the importance of having solitude and silence in your life, and gives you some ideas on how to practice that. That's all I have for you today. We will see you back here tomorrow for day 15 of the Better You Challenge.